So many HVAC companies think they have loyal customers, but if you look at the data, most of those customers are only calling you for one system in the house. So the companies that grow fastest are the ones that turn a single unit relationship into control of the entire property. This is actually a fairly complex problem, but I will show you how to do it. And so you're seeing this chart here. It's just how many unique customers did you have and how many of them had more than one system done in the same month. What percent is that, and is in then a target line. So what you're not seeing is all of this data here. And so this is what we need to build, and we build it off of this data set here. And so if you want this data set with my formulas and everything, there's a link to download it. But a pretty straightforward data set in the sense that you have a customer ID, when was the job done, invoice ID, work order number, property type, all these different things. But the columns that we're going to need are going to be essentially the service date, which I'm calling the event date, and then the system ID, because even though they're both heat pumps, sometimes it could be a little bit different. Like this one is different than this one, but they're both heat pumps. So go off of the system ID. And then also we want to make sure it's a service call, not an install. Okay, so bear with me. It is going to take a little while to set this up. So we want the customer ID. We want a unique list of the customer ID, which is right here. And then I'm just going to sort this. And so we have this sort of alphabetically. And then I'm going to center everything. Okay, and so then let me add in some more rows and I'll show you why in a second. Not that many, I'll delete some later. But then across here, we want the unique list of this here, the month. And so the way we calculate this is just the end of this month, the service date. So equals EO month, go on the service date, comma 0. And now you get the end of that specific month here. And so let me format it as a date. And so yeah, so that's the column we're going to use, but I already did it here, so I'll delete it. I just wanted to show you. So EO month, end of the month, and then make sure to do this 0. If that's a 1 or a 2 or a 3, it's going to do the following month. So EO month 1 would be February, the end of February 24, which I think, was that a leap year? Maybe. So it might be February 29th. Okay, so to get a unique list, we want to do the same function, equals unique here. But the problem here is that it's going to be in the column. And so it's going to be in the column here. And my computer's taking a lot of time to calculate these things because it's recalculating this every time I try something. So now we're going to want to, this is a date. I'm not going to format it as a date yet, but you can see it's a date. But we want to transpose this date across the row. So what we're going to do is we're going to do transpose. And now we have that. And then now we can just format this as a date. Copy, and then Control-Shift-V. Okay, so now what we need is we need a unique list of any customer that has a different system type in the same month. So we want to filter this off of the customer ID and off of the event date, and if it's service, right? So it's a little bit of a complex formula. So equals filter. So I'll just go step by step here. So we want to filter this, comma, and now you need to open brackets. It's a little bit different. So equals filter that, comma, where the end of month, where the month equals what we did here. And again, I'm going to put a $sign in between. That way, whenever we bring the formula down, it doesn't go from C6 to C7 to C8. So there's that, and then times, and then I'm going to open the bracket again. And then let's do customer ID here equals, and it's cell B7. So I'm going to do $B7. So you can see it right here. And I'm going to close the bracket. open the times, and then open the bracket again, and then we need this to equal quotations service. Let's see if that works. So you're getting a calc error, and the reasoning is because there is no result there. So let me just drag this down, and eventually we'll see some results. Yeah. So we see results here, but this is only one. So whenever there's two, what we'll see is we'll see a spill error. With dynamic arrays that tell Excel right here. So you see how these are two different system types? So that's a yes, right? And so what we want to do from here is we want to do a unique function. And that's gonna, hold on, did we already, yeah, we haven't done the unique. So we want to do the unique function, and then now we want to count A. And so now this is the answer here. Because the problem, the way Excel works, and I'm sure they're going to fix it, but right now you can see here it's counting as a 1, but it's not a 1 because it's counting the error. But fortunately for this KPI, it's not going to matter because we want to count where it's 2. So if that formula we just did is greater than or equal to 2, then 1, otherwise 0. And so what you should see is a bunch of zeros and ones now, like right here. And then, yeah, so now you can start to see some ones, which is good, which is what we want. Let's just make sure. So we have 16, which is good. So here, let me copy and paste these three like this. So that now we can take the sum of this and we get 16. And now we can copy this. Let me make sure. We can copy this and then we can paste it here. And then I'm going to go back over here and then I'm going to copy all of these. Not copy, but highlight the range and then double click and my computer will crash. No, it won't crash, but it might cut off. Okay, so now we have all those answers. And so it's calculating anytime it's greater, the count is greater than 2, greater than or equal to 2. And this is the sum. So now we can just drag that across to get the sum. But now what we need is we need a unique list of the customers for that month, like this number here. And it's a similar formula. We have to filter the unique customer count if it's that month and if it's a service. So this is service customers. So equals, what we'll do is we can start with the filter. So we're going to filter the customer ID here, comma, where this month, comma, is this one. And you don't have to do the dollar signs or anything. But not comma. Filter that table where the table month, we don't want a comma, we want equals. Yeah, the dynamic array formulas are significantly different than normal formulas in Excel. Make sure to use your brackets. And then we want this here to equal service. And you're going to get a spill error. And the reason, I'll move this over here. Just because the spill is like, it's trying to go down and it can't. But what you can see here is that, so this is any customer that got a service job. But the thing is, we want a unique count, right? So from here, we need to get a unique list. So unique, and now we have the unique, And there are 143 of these customers. So now we want to count. And so now we have 143. Okay, so I have that. I'm just going to copy and paste it or cut it and put it back over here. Now copy this and then go to the right. You can go here and then paste. And that gives you the unique list of service customers for each month here. And then now we'll do the percent later. What we need to do here, now we can actually build the chart that we built here. And I'm just going to copy this information here. We can just put it right here. Okay, so for the date, if you remember, we did the transpose function, right? We did that earlier. So I'm going to not translate, I'm going to transpose, and I'm just going to highlight this. So I'll go here, Control-Shift-Right arrow, close your brackets, and now you have the same date range. You could also do a unique list like we did the first time, however you want to do that. Okay, so now we get to learn a new function. And so this is going to be the XLOOKUP function. So what we need to do is we need to find January 31st here, and then give me what's in here. And then also, after that formula, give me what's in here. So XLOOKUP. It's different than if you're used to VLOOKUP, it's the vertical lookup, or HLOOKUP, a horizontal lookup, but it can't be above, it needs to be below. And that's where XLOOKUP is so good. So XLOOKUP, the lookup array is, so the first argument is right here, the lookup value. So we want to look up this date, comma, and then where is that date? What array is it in? And it's right here, comma, and then you'll see the return array. So what do we want? What were the answers? And they're right here. Here, comma. If not found, you can do whatever you want. I'll just do another comma because like I don't want a result if it's not found. And then exact match because I know it's going to be found. And then you're getting an error. And the reason is because we didn't use a dollar sign. If you remember, we have to use dollar signs. And the reason is because look at the red here. See how it's not on the dates anymore, but it's on the dates here. And then also this purple right here is now one lower. So all you have to do is inside of the where it's red or the lookup array, just go inside each and press F4. And that'll lock, or put a dollar sign before and after everything. And now you can see that's working. And what I'm going to do, just to show you a little bit, it's not really a trick, but it's going to save you, from having to redo the formula. I'm just going to copy and paste that formula, but now the sum is right here, right? So I'm just going to drag that down, do the same lookup, just on one row lower. And now you have your answer. And so, yeah, it takes 13 minutes to set up, but once you get it, it is quite useful. And what's our target? 10%. I'll type in 10% here equals the one above it. And you're good. And so now the chart is the easiest thing. Just highlight this range, hold down Control, and highlight the actual percent and the target percent. Go to Insert, Recommended Charts. You can pick that first one if you want columns instead of a line. Like you can do anything like that. But I'll do this one. And so, yeah, that is how you do this one. Really, it's really valuable because if you're upselling your existing customers, right? And so what I'll do is I'll fix the chart title. Let me just change it to this one. And also on these videos, I know I go super fast. I'm just trying to not, this is already 14 minutes in. I'm trying to keep these fairly short. But yeah, and so the next thing I'll do is I'll fix this column here. I don't want that 0. I don't want 0.0. So I'll double click, you get the 3 columns, go to number, and then just do 0 here. And then if you want the values, I'll show you a couple ways to do the values. But first, with this red line, let's make it a little bit thinner. Taking up too much real estate. I don't know. For some reason, I don't like super thick lines like that are targets. And so now you can just see the red line. And because we did make it a dynamic changing cell, you can see that, as we change this cell here, everything else will, like that line will change. And then finally, if you want the values, you can click on the chart, click the plus sign, get the value like this, but that's not good. So if you want just the line values, you can click there. But if that's still too noisy, you could put a background if you click on the number, and then you can add a background to it if you want, just to make it a little bit easier to read. But if you don't want all that and you just want like a single point, just double click on that point. And then you can do the point there. Maybe you want another one here. And then if you want the background that way, it's a little bit easier to understand. But yeah, 15 and a half minutes in. But yeah, if you have any questions, shoot me an email, questions@databoards. I know I go super fast in these. I'm just trying to keep them under, I try to keep them under 15 minutes, but this one didn't make it. This one was a little bit harder. But yeah, if you want this data set, you with all my formulas, all everything in the answers and the data and all that good stuff, just shoot me an email. There's also a link to download it, but if you can't find it, then email me. If you need some help structuring your data in a way or getting insights, structuring your data in a way to get the insights, or doing the insights for you if you don't have anybody on your team to help, or if they're tied up, then there's a link to my calendar, or you can just shoot me an email as well, questions@databoards.io. But that's it for this one, and I will see you in the next lesson.